Ever since I was a little kid, I've loved basketball. I had an experience going into my senior year where at the time I was living with my cousins and we were preparing for our next season. And it was late one night and we got home late from practice and my grandpa got really sick. And my family came down to visit me and to check in on my grandparents. And I wasn't feeling too good, and so I went to bed early and I ended up being sick all through the night. Early the next morning, my parents were going in to check in on my grandparents, and they knew once I woke up, since I was up so late, that I would follow them in. And about halfway into town, I got a phone call from my mom, and she said, "Tristan, Grandpa's gone. He didn't make it." And instantly I went into shock, and I didn't know what to do. And so I turned to what solved all my problems in the past, and I immediately went to the gym. And I soon began to realize that although basketball had fixed most of my problems in the past, it wasn't going to be able to fix this one. And I became very frustrated and with all these questions about why I wasn't able to see my grandpa one more time, and why I couldn't have my grandpa be there for my senior season and see the growth that I made in this game that we love so much. And fortunate enough for me, I grew up in a Christ-centered home, and I knew that there was one more option, and that was to pray. And so being alone in that gym, I kneeled down and decided to pray and ask God these questions. And immediately, He reminded me of His plan for us. And in that moment, I knew that there was life after death. And I wouldn't have to worry about the small things, like if my grandpa was going to be there for my senior season. I was able to know that I would see my grandpa again. I felt a lot of peace coming to me at that moment, and I was able to use this experience that was so hard for me to motivate me in my senior year. We had a good year. We didn't have a perfect season, but every time I laced up before games, I was able to feel my Heavenly Father's love for me and my grandparents' love for me. I know that there is life after death, and although our plan isn't perfect, God's plan is. And basketball has taught me many lessons in my life, but the gospel has given me all the answers. I know that there's life after death, and that God has a perfect plan for each of us. If you'd like to learn more about God's plan for you, send us a message and we'd love to talk to you about it.